didn't talk to you after the game, so what were just your impressions of what you did get the play on?
You know, certainly proud of the guys. You know, just from the standpoint of the long extended delay and the ability to stay focused, I really felt they played better as the game continued to go on. So I think a lot of positives, obviously a lot to clean up, but again, we talked before the game, you never know exactly what you're going to get till you get in front of those live bullets, and so it's good to see those guys respond.
How did you evaluate the offensive line's play?
I thought they did a nice job. They really did. They played extremely hard. I was very pleased with the ability to run the ball, you know, when we needed to, and certainly on the explosive plays. It always starts with those guys up front. And so the ability for them to hold up in protection gave us time to throw the ball down the field, and I thought that was impressive.
What do you think of Brock's first kind of game, getting that full, I guess you could say, full game of SEC?
Yeah, tough brand of football. You know, I really thought that a couple times. I know certainly from the standpoint of running him at times, I mean, he plays physical, that he's got to get down and protect himself because we're going to need that guy. But you know, I think we got a good player there. I think you guys were able to see that, the toughness, the resiliency, more so not when things were going good, but how he responded when things weren't going good, and we're certainly excited about his play.
What did you see from the way he took? What did you see from the way he went through his progressions?
I thought he did a nice job. I really did. I just think he's a really steady player, and I think you guys have gotten to know him. He's never too high, never too low. He knows exactly who he is, and I think that's the biggest thing in a game like that. Certainly in your first experience starting, the ability to just stay calm, one play at a time, stay focused, continually getting better. That's a huge bonus for us.
What did you make of the running game being down a starter, and what do you think of Demi and the rest of the guys?
Yeah, there's been an edge with that group, you know, for a long time. I think just naturally, whether there's no, you know, lead returning starter or any maybe big name type guy in that room, they've took it upon themselves. Obviously, we know it's going to be a big challenge this week and an extremely physical group that we're going against, but we're bringing along that group. You know, it's a by committee, and we're excited for those guys to see them play on Saturday.
You leaned on Patterson in that one drive, and he almost got you into the end zone. What's going through your mind as a play caller? Were you all trying to let him punch it in there?
Yeah, certainly. You know, you certainly want to finish those drives. A lot of times there's opportunities in the red zone where you feel like you've gotten a defense on their heels and you can play with that kind of tempo and play fast. Again, I was proud of Jason. I was proud of Demi for what he did. Jamari Wilcox got in there and did some good things. And so, again, it's going to come down to consistency, taking care of the football. Just got to keep building on it.
There's been a lot of talk about the depth in the wide receiver room this year, and it kind of showed on Saturday with it kind of being a whole group effort. What did you see from them?
You know, impressed. Again, I mean, I think those guys all have a different skill set that really complements one another. And I think that's so important about a great wide receiver room is, you know, you got vertical threats, you got guys that are great in short area space, you got guys that can stretch the field, you got a guy like Dane Key that can make those tough catches. And so in a lot of ways, that group, we've talked about it from day one, it's not easy to use that term unselfish, but the great groups have that about them. And I think each of those guys understand that if they can put their roles together, they can be a special unit, and that's where you got to keep taking the next step.
We saw some of that with Will Levis, the physical running style, lower shoulder, jump over a guy. How do you, with a quarterback, balance that? I know it hypes his teammates up, but also...
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I just think, you know, in some ways there's a part where you got to pick and choose your spots. You know, again, when it was 3rd and 8 and Brock lowered his shoulder and got us 9 yards, it's a physical game and you got to do what you got to do. But I think on some of those 1st and 2nd down runs where there's opportunities to get down, you got to do so. And so, especially with a kid like that who's so bought in and 3,000% wanting to prove it to his teammates, it's almost the other way. You know, you got to prove it to them that you're willing to step out of bounds and play the next play. And sometimes those guys have just got to go through it to learn that.
Well, you're going to face some good edge rushers this season, but how do you prepare for a team like this that has 2 really dynamic guys off the
Yeah, we've been fortunate again to go up against one of the better front sevens we feel like in the league every single day. So I'd start with that. But certainly it's going to be a good challenge. You know, I think, you know, both our edge guys are excited, both our tackles, the backs are excited, the different things we're going to have to do to be aware of those guys. It's really no secret with this defense. I think last week it was 5 sacks, which created 4 turnovers, and there's a primary focus there on those 2 situations, is making sure those guys don't take over the game and make sure we take care of the football.
What do you think about the operation as far as getting the tempo that you wanted to get?
A lot of good, but certainly room for improvement. You know, again, sometimes you come out here in practice and you feel like you got 3 minutes to talk to the quarterback and it's not really cutting off, and then all of a sudden you get in that game and you're talking to him and it's like somebody hung up on you on the other line. Our operation is something we take a lot of pride in, and we certainly got to take the next step on that.
What did you think about how you guys were able to get plays in later in the game, even though it was shortened, to try and rectify some mistakes you might have had in the first quarter or second quarter?
Yeah, I thought it was good. You know, I just think, too, it just comes down to consistency, as you guys know, and it's eliminating some of those penalties early on hurt us, getting into second and longer situations, turning the ball over. So I think just like anything, you know, you do it and you do it and you do it, but with this group, the more experience you get with these players, with this staff, obviously you're hoping to take the biggest jump you can from week 1 to week 2.
Is there any secret to emphasizing taking care of the football, or do you just got to repeat it yourself over and over?
Yeah, I think, you know, certainly it's the emphasis from a ball security standpoint, but I think there's always the correlation to playing clean and being fundamentally sound in your technique and how it correlates to taking care of the football. Again, for us, it's on the tape from a week ago of situations where those 2 defensive edge rushers were able to have one-on-ones and were able to get takeaways. And so I think it's a mixture. It's fundamentally, but it's also schematically putting our guys in a position where we're not forced to hold on the ball for too long and have those one-on-ones on the perimeter.
I think they allowed one explosive, but what have you seen from South Carolina's pass defense? Now they had 2 picks and a bunch of pass breakups last week.
Yeah, you know, we've gone against these guys. I feel like some of these guys have been there for like 7 years now, you know, so that whole DB room is similar. They got great length, you know, they got long speed, can turn and run. So I think there's a ton of experience. You know, the corner 3's been there for a long, long time. The nickel 24 is an all-conference type player who I believe's in his second year played a lot of football. The boundary safeties played a lot. I mean, these are guys that I feel have been playing since maybe I was at another SEC school 3 years ago, you know. So it's a veteran group. Again, it's going to be a really good challenge for our guys. We're going to be excited and go from there.
Because the game ended early, do you feel like there are still wrinkles that people don't know about you guys and what you didn't have to put on film?
Yeah, it's a little bit of give or take. You know, there's some things you didn't show, but then there's always the part of, with the plays you did show, you're able to correct them and take the next step on them. So I think there's a little bit of balance there. But, you know, I think all in all, certainly an interesting experience in our first one there. But, you know, we accomplished what we needed to and got enough reps to get a good evaluation.
What was your reaction coming out to that 2 hours late and seeing 60,000 fans?
I've never seen anything like that. I mean that. I mean, I was in my office. I actually had Brock up there for about an hour and a half because we didn't know what was going on. We were rewatching cut-ups, this and that, and I finally said, hey, you know, let me just get down there to make sure, because I knew it was going to be a quick turnaround when they said it was a go. And I don't think I'll ever forget it, to be honest with you, in my life. I've been fortunate to be in a lot of places, but to walk out there after a 2-hour delay and see that place as packed as it was you got to slow down sometimes, and you got to be grateful and thankful for where you're at, and I will never, ever forget that. So.
Okay, folks, everybody good?